Well, today is Sunday, the 26th of April 2020. This is Mr. Abundance. We do have a lot today to deal with. I can say to you. Um, Firstly, I want to recognize those persons who took up the challenge and recruit 10 plus persons in our first 20 days. Remember, we have a marketing plan of which I will show. We said that if we are to put 10 million people into TACC in 5 months, it starts with TACC 1, recruit 10 person in 20 days. And those 10 person repeat the same in their 20 days. That is how we're going to get to our 10 million in 5 months. And it is doable. Some of you will probably do 50 in 20 days. All right, so let me recognize those persons, and of course they will be awarded with 500 TAP coins for their efforts. All right, now this is for the first set of Tiashans. Okay, I don't know what will happen in our second round, but they went out and they did what they were supposed to do. All right, so we're going to recognize them now. We have, let me share my screen, by the way. And I can see a few folks there with me already. We have our ambassador. I will get to all of you in a while when I am introducing the executive of TAC. So, but welcome. It is really and truly a remarkable mission that we're on, to give persons that have been deprived for decades, for centuries, living in artificial scarcity, poverty, and diseases, while a 1% sail the world in $500 million yachts, while some of us can't even eat a decent meal. We can't even send our children to ordinary schools, not even sometimes public schools. We have challenges. And that is why a lot of public schools around the world have created a meals program to feed the children. We don't have to be like that. But for us to change this narrative, we must come together in unity of purpose with a progressive vision and a philosophy which says that together we can. All right. So before I go into my discourse, let me first begin to share my screen, and let me bring these people up. I think they weren't recognizing for their contribution. We have Mr. Ariel Greatness. A matter of fact, Ariel Greatness has just been promoted to Director of Training, Implementation, Mobilization, and Youth Affairs. And he's now already coordinating with all the national executive coordinators of each country, so that he can tailor his training where they need it most. So Ariel Greatness will continue to contact all heads of countries to see how he can assist in amplifying TACC's vision, our mission, our purpose, and cryptocurrency in general, and how our social programs will greatly impact the universe, starting from Africa. All right, so thank you very much, Ariel. He's one of those people that that recruited 10 plus person within our first 20 days of going public. Next, let me see who is this one. Then we have our national executive director from France, a Cameroonian by birth, and he is heading our French France, and also he's our translator from English to French. He's also the coordinator of several French countries, working with the national executive for about 4 countries in Africa, to include Togo, Cameroon, Burundi. I think those are the 3 countries that he's coordinating with the executive. So thank you very much, Mr. N4. He also recruited 10 person within our first 20 days. And we also have Paul from Nigeria. He also recruited 10 plus in our first 20 days. So thank you very much, gentlemen. And of course, each of you will be rewarded 500 coins. All right, now let's look at our marketing chart. And so here we are. We are saying that we are aiming for 10 million TACCs in 140 days or 5 months. Now, each TACC is responsible for sponsoring 10 new TACCs in 20 days of joining TACC, with support from your sponsor, of course. Invest in at least a minimum of $5. $5 investment now gives you 20 TACC. So you can invest from $5 to $250,000. We are trying to raise the 2.5 million to certify the coin in the public domain. Once we certify the coin in the public domain, the coin no longer remains a coin, but it now becomes money on the exchange. And so between now and January, now and June, sorry, June 13 to be exact, the first round will end. So we are in round 1, where the coin now is at its cheapest, going public. And so this is the time for you to really bring in those persons who really need this coin most. Now is at $5. Now, the second round, the coin will be at 50 cents, which is from June to September, and from September to December, 75 cents. Then the coin goes on the exchange at $1. But here is the mystery of what I have just said. Should we raise the 2.5 within now and June, it will allow me to cancel all other rounds and go straight to the exchange, where the coin will now leave from 25 cents to $1. A lot of you have bought over 265,000 coin, because I'm the one who's issuing. Once you would have invested in our private sale, $5,000 give you 265,000, but that was founding members. That deal does not exist anymore. But just imagine, you would have only paid 5,000, but when TACC goes on the exchange from day one, your $5,000 would have yielded a whopping 265,000 from just an investment of $5. And so that is what cryptocurrency can do for us. We saw what Bitcoin did. I have always alluded to the fact that if you and I had purchased $15 worth of Bitcoin 11 years ago, we would have been able to cash out over 26 million. And so our trust is, how can we impact the lives of the people with our social programs, the rollback malaria, Afro-Caribbean culture, our Cup of Nations. We talk about ensuring that we effect, especially in all regions of Africa, state-of-the-art hospitals, connecting highways, going into different areas of manufacturing, lifting the ordinary men and women up. And so we are not here to fight any forces. We are here to use forces. We are here to show governments and institutional investors around the world what TACC can become in the right hand, driven by the right mindset, with the right people behind of it, lifting everybody up. Because that is what all the analysts are saying, that this is the time. If you understand what cryptocurrency is intended to do, it can catapult you from generational poverty, lack, diseases, to generational wealth. And so we must change the narrative. Oxfam reported that over 800 million jobs will be lost. And I've been saying this one since last year. In 7 days, millions of jobs were lost in this coronavirus. And with the advent of the fourth industrial evolution, which is artificial intelligence, where the era of technology will not demand for labor, where all these people are going. In a couple of years, America will not need any drivers because the cars will be driving themselves. Where does all those truckers and busmen and taxi men, where do they go? And so we have to step into that gap. Now here we have it starts with one TACC introduced 10 person. We have already gone through that first 20 days that ended on the 19th. We're now with 10 TACC recruiting 10, which gives you 100. And so we're now in our second stretch of 20 days, which will equal to 40. This one ends the 10th of May. So by the 10th of May, based on our chart, we should have at least 100 person. May I say to you, as it is now, we have over 2,000. So we are ahead of schedule. And so we need to remain there. The only how we're going to remain ahead of schedule if all of us do what we are supposed to do. And so if you follow this chart, where 100 now bringing 10, that's 1,000. 1,000 bringing 10, that's 10,000. 10,000 bringing their 10, that's 100,000. 100,000 bringing their 10, which is a 1 million. And 1 million bringing in their 10 each. 10, million in 20 days. So by September 24th, we should have, is that September? No, that's August. So by August 24th, we should have 24. By August 24th, we should have 10 million. All right. So let's move on quickly. I want to also highlight the seminar that will be taking place, our 3-day seminar. Let me see if I can pick that up. I'm doing some house cleaning now. Our 3-day seminar. And so here you have the speakers. The Abundance Community Coin TACC presents a 3-day TACC Global Recruitment Methodology Conference. And so this begins from Tuesday the 28th to Thursday the 30th of April 2020. The venue will be in the Telegram group. It starts from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. And I think this is West Central Africa time. That is 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for those of us who are in the West. I think it's the same 7 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time as well. And so we have our bishop in the house, God's Will Uchi Mikini. He will be speaking about how we can get in the business people, the political class, the corporate marketing. So he will be presenting corporate marketing. A matter of fact, Bishop is our national executive coordinator, managing the operation in Nigeria. Also, we have our global ambassador here, Gabriel, our global youth ambassador, and he will be talking about understanding the dynamics of cryptocurrency in the 21st industry. Gabriel oversees our global youth program as our youth ambassador, and he has youth executive in each country that has leadership, because we are very structured. All right. We also have Ayo Esin. He'll be dealing with the internet, how to I guess market TACC using the Internet of Things. And we have Ariel Greatness, as I was just mentioned, that he's our director of training. We also have Peter, and so he'll be also dealing with the social media marketing, and of course our Manjo and Four, the Dodone, he will be dealing with tax vision and mission, understanding it through our social program. Also, we have Francis Taylor. He is our national executive coordinator for the Bahamas, and he'll be dealing with how we can recruit through the mayor. We also have Madam John Ochu. She is our deputy national executive coordinator for Nigeria. All right, so she will be talking about how we can recruit through our friends and relatives and religious bodies. Okay, so these are our presenter coming up with our 3-day summit. So be sure to be a part of this, and it will happen in our WhatsApp group. All right. And also, while I'm in this, I am also appealing to our executive to ensure that you ensure that I'm having some lighting issues here. Ensure that you complete your executive, okay? And so ensure that all the executives are on board, and that you complete the total executive. All right, you have the national executive, the assistant, you have the director of sports, of research, of communication. You know what they are. All right. um Also, we are in the process of formulating our policy that deals with our charity side of TAC. How do we recognize identified children, underprivileged children? We are creating a policy as to who is qualified to effect and to benefit with our policy of one TAC, one child, one youth, one TAC. And so we're looking for, we have a category that the youth director and the appointee in each country, what they should look for, how these children will qualify. Those that are in orphanage, they are qualified. You have those that are disabled, they are also qualified. You have children whose parents have maybe passed, due to war, sickness, diseases, disaster, they also qualify. So we're putting a policy in place how to identify and issue these coins. We're talking about rising humanity to another level. All right. Also, because we are weeks away from launching our television, our internet television and radio. And so we will have 24 hours present around the globe. I told you already that we are going all out. We are changing the face of cryptocurrency. And so we are going all out to ensure that we put a positive image as to what cryptocurrency can do. And so with our internet, radio, and television beaming around the world, it can only get better for TAC. And of course, the whole idea, and as I was saying to my executive, the whole idea of TAC, when I said we are not here to fight anyone, we are here to show institutional investors, we are here to show governments around the world how they can participate and how cryptocurrency can also bring them out of debt. And so with our Afro-Caribbean international musical, cultural, and trade, we're talking about representation. Government officials will be there. NGOs will be there. Civil society members will be there. And so we're giving the world, and this will be carried feed live around the world. Our international Afro-Caribbean musical, cultural and trade festival. This has never happened on this level since this world began. And so we are doing something, and all this is to bring our people around the world to create bilateral agreements to open up Africa, especially to the West, to the Caribbean in particular, where we can have real meaningful trade that takes place. Because we here in the Caribbean, We import 98% of what we consume. And so all this is to connect Africa in a meaningful way with airlines, with direct shipping. All this TACC will engage in that 7 days of our international musical, cultural, and also trade festival. All right. We are here to fulfill and to execute our mission, which is to be the alternate financial solution. We are here to eradicate our vision, which is to eradicate, we are here to effect our vision to eradicate poverty, to create abundance, to address the inequality, to create, as I said, meaningful, transparent dialogue from Africa to the West in a meaningful way, in a respectable way. And of course, our philosophy, together we can. Our slogan, one TACC, one child, one youth, one TACC. And our theme, think big, because for us to accomplish any other thing that we have not, we have to decide to do things that we have not done. And so with this, I will now open the floor for your questions and answers, all right? And so I also want to, our first person who was here is Mr. Samuel Jennings. I'm wondering if I was referred to a gentleman who is coming in from Ireland. I am not too sure. Oh, yes, that's right. From Northern Ireland. All right. Thank you very much, sir. Yes, I did get information that you will be joining us in our forum today. We're happy to have you. Welcome aboard. And of course, ask your questions. We TACC hopes to forge partnership with you as we have done with the UK, with France, with Belgium, with Luxembourg, with the Netherlands. And so you are welcome to come on board. And this is a very exciting time, sir. So you're speaking directly. You're interacting with Mr. Abundance, and we have a cadre of executives representing each country. So happy to have you. Also, we have Madam Tracy. Thank you very much. And by the way, good evening, Mr. Samuel. Good to have you to join the family. All right. Thank you very much. Also, I must also let you know that Madam Tracy has been appointed to the position of European ambassador. And so she has supervisory responsibility for the entire European countries, where the executive in each country would work along with her so that we can meet our target. We can meet the purpose that we came on earth to do, working together with people across continent, persons that have been left to hold the bag for too long. It doesn't have to be that way. Google, one company in Manhattan, is spitting out over 200,000 in revenue every second, over 17 billion within 24 hours. So you tell me, where is the scarcity? There's no scarcity in the world. And so, Madam Brooks, you're doing an excellent job there in the UK. I thank you very much for your dedication, for your vision, for your steadfastness and for your focus. It's people like you who will make TACC become a reality. All right. Thank you very much there. Mr. Abundance, I can see true leadership in you. God will bless you for that. God bless you. Thank you very much, sir. Mr. Stephen Feta, I think you're in Ghana. We want to thank you as well. You have been with us from day one. And so all of us, when this tide rises, it will rise everyone. Alexander Davis, hello, Mr. Abundance. Is Alex here from England? You're doing really a good job. Thank you very much, Alexander Davis. It is my pleasure. This vision is bigger than Mr. Abundance. This vision is bigger than any one of us. This vision is bigger than TACC itself. This vision and the mission that we're on is bigger than any community. It is bigger than any country. It is bigger than any continent. I have always said, when we are finished executing this vision, PhD students will study this model for decades. Historians will ever record what we did by bringing people across continent that have never met to create the abundance community coin to rescue people that have been deprived for over 500 years. That will be our story. And so I commend all of you from around the world. TACC needs everyone. No one is more important than anyone in TACC. I said last week that the train is as strong as its weakest link. Mr. Abundance needs each and every one of you as much as you, everyone, need Mr. Abundance. We need each other. And so we need to just work together and to keep focused. So thank you very much, Alexandra. All right, Victoria. Nice to have you. Hello. Yes, good evening. Good evening. Blessing, Aliyu. We appreciate you, sir, for your great job for disrupting yourself for this solemn and sacred mission. You know, I have always said that I normally do inspirational, transformational, informational, personal development sessions, and I've been doing that since last year. Now, those you can make a career out of any one of them: motivational speaker, inspirational speaker, transformational. You can make a career. But for me, TACC is not a career. It will be a career for a lot of people, I can tell you. It will let you go places that you would not or you would not have gone before. It will open doors for you that would have not been open. And so TACC will do a lot. It will revolutionize people's lives, I can tell you. But for me, it's not a career part. This is a calling. Because whereas you can resign from a career, you cannot resign from a calling. Whereas that you are bigger than your career, your calling is bigger than you. And so I thank you, dear Mr. Blessing, for your steadfastness and your contribution within the executive. Greetings, Tiashan. Greetings from Nompum Milo. Nompum Mil Lilo. Have mercy. I didn't give you a name. Yes, greetings. Yes. Our youth ambassador, you're welcome. Greetings. Greetings, Jax R. Good evening. Good evening. Yes, Ito Nelson. Thank you very much. My leader over there. I think he's in Ghana, if I'm not mistaken. Mr. Pascal, TACC is made for English speakers because we French speakers do not understand what they're saying. You write pretty much English. Your English is very good. But we also have a French translation of my audios. So I hope you are in the French group, and we will soon have a French broadcaster. All right, we're taking care of you. Yes, Mr. N4, that's right. He's our French translator. May the Lord continue to keep you and protect you. Thank you very much. Eudofia Akpan, you're welcome. John, greetings, Mr. Abundance and the Tiashans. All right. So we have come basically to the end of today's session. If you have any questions, this is the time for you to ask them. Some of you are greeting, but this is also a session for question and answering. So if you have questions that you want to ask, this is the time. All right. But I am very pleased with the level of excitement that is in the house. I have never seen so much excitement. I am telling you, trust me, the excitement that is coming from the globe. You remember last week we brought on our new national executive director from Antigua and Barbuda. We also brought on our deputy national executive coordinator for the United States, and so we are moving at lightning speed. All right. So good evening, Mr. Abundance and Tiashans. What an eye has not seen, ear not heard, and what has not entered human heart. That's what the good Lord is doing to TACC. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, our national executive coordinator down there in South Africa. As a matter of fact, as I said, I had to put your executive in my global executive forum because you have done an excellent job with your executive down there in South Africa. I am impressed, and so I commend you for your good work. Extraordinary, and it's people like you that will enable TACC to meet its goal. All right. So I just want to thank everyone again for being here with us. Continue to keep focus. Ensure to read our white paper. Is going through some tweaking. So this week, and by the way, let me share my screen for the last time. Lisika, out of South Africa. Yes, you're welcome. Let me share my screen for the last time before I close. And so I want to show you. All right. So this is our main page. And you can see we are in our first round. And we have 48 days to finish our first round, where the coin is at 25 cents. Now, if you notice here, USD and TACC. So TACC wallet, the wallet is basically set, its default setting is USD and TACC. And so for you to change it, you just click on there, change it to Bitcoin or Ethereum. If you're using Ethereum or Bitcoin to buy TACC. And once you would have done that, change it. For example, this is Bitcoin. Then you click on deposit. And then once you click on deposit, you will go straight in, which will allow you. This is the KYC verification. You don't need to do that. And then you see here is that Bitcoin. This is the Bitcoin address. All you need to do is to copy this link and receive your Bitcoin through it, because this is a wallet. TACC wallet can receive USDT, it can receive Ethereum, it can receive Bitcoin. And once you would have received the Bitcoin or the Ethereum or USD, all you need to do is to come here and you will see. If you notice here, I have some Bitcoin here in this wallet. And so if I was to buy TACC, then I will need to come out and go back into the main page. And I'm just doing this quickly. I will go back to the main page, and then I will click on BTC. Right here, I will put how many TACC I need, and let's say I need 5 TACC. I'll put 5, and then it will show you here total BTC I have, and then I will click on buy. Once I click on buy, okay, it's telling me that I need to sign in again. All right, so I would have needed to sign in. Let me see if I can quickly do that. Let me and make sure you save your passwords. Make sure you save them. Okay. And so once I would have clicked buy, then it will tell me to confirm. All right. And then it says here, buy at least 5 TACC. So that is 5 TACC right there. Okay. And I would have just confirmed, and then you would have seen it in your back office. After you would have purchased, then you need to go into your wallet to see the coin. You can click on wallet, or you can click on activities. Okay. But we also have a video so that that will show you. All right. So I think what I really want to share you, I went into something else. But ensure when you come on TACC page, look at our white paper here, please. View our team, and by the way, what you're going to see, and by the way, Madam Brooks, this is where you will come. As our European, you will join the team. Now we're trying to add the country executive right here, all our country managers. And so when you come here, you will see this. They have not done yet. They just uploaded this spreadsheet with all of the names of our country managers. For example, you have here Bishop Godswill. He's our national executive coordinator in Nigeria. Assisting him is Madam Joan. In Cameroon, we have our national executive, Mr. Meto, assisted by Miss Christie. In Ghana, we have Reverend Emmanuel, assisted by Apostle Nelson. In Togo, we have Mr. Mansour, assisted by Ayayi, the assistant national executive in Togo. We have Pastor Owari Sawa, our national executive in Uganda, assisted by, no, he doesn't have an assistant yet. And then we also have representing Papua New Guinea, Mr. Samson Luka, who's our national executive coordinator, assisted by Mr. Stanley. In Kenya, we have Mr. Bill Alex, assisted by Mr. Caxton Luvaso. In Liberia and Sierra Leone, we have Bishop Alexander Freeman, assisted by Pastor Josiah Tipakula. Also in South Africa, we have Madam Nosifo Kwabi, assisted by Mr. Kosinathi Tabitha. There in South Africa, then we have Mr. Francis Taylor, assisted by Madam Cynthia Brown for the island of the Bahamas. We have Mr. Anthony Wilson Moon and Deputy Mr. Dominique Iroke. They are responsible for Trinidad and Tobago. We have Engineer Olusola Sobudu. He's our national executive for Canada. We have Mr. Olalikin Ojibola, who is our national executive coordinator for Belgium, Netherlands, and Luxembourg. Mr. Aloysius Goodman, he our national executive for the U.S. Virgin Islands. We have Mistress Anosi Kichi Esther, national executive for Mozambique. Madam Nbanyara Bohoro Helen, our national executive, and Mr. Sadiki Matabaro Jean Perry. They're responsible for the Democratic Republic of Congo. And we have Engineer Bernard Rubarika, and Mr. Kaburangu Felix. They are our executive leaders there in the country of Burundi. We have Professor Adijibai Adibowele, who is our national executive for Gambia, Prosperous Springs, and Madam Judith Griffith, national executive and assistant for the United Kingdom. We have King Young, who is the executive coordinator for Rwanda. And we have Mr. Lucas Pereira, our national executive for Angola. Ms. Chase Hayong Vani, our national executive coordinator for South Korea. By the way, you have given me your deputy. I have not yet uploaded him. I need to do that. And we have Mr. Manjo Info, our national executive coordinator for France. So TACC is on a real mission to bring a global presence. This is not a one-man show. And so I thank all of you who have seen the vision, who realize within yourself you can do more, you can achieve more than what you have achieved. It was Jim Rohn that says, we are who we are and where we are because of what have entered our minds. But we can change who we are. We can become who we want to become by what we are now allow into our minds. And I am a believer of that. And finally, we have our advisors, Professor Prince Goodwin Issa, over there in Nigeria, and Aloysius Goodman, our technical advisor. And, you know, TACC is a movement. And so from time to time, as we attract talents that will fit into our executive to aid our vision, we will bring them forward. And so what is missing here now from the advisor is our director of training, mobilization, and youth affairs, Mr. Ariel Greatness. So he will be here, and also Madam Brooks out of London as our European ambassador. And so those two, we will try and get you up this week. All goes well. All right. So I just want to thank all of you for joining me today. It's a privilege. It's a blessing. Good evening, Mr. Abundance Tiashins. When an eye has not seen. Okay, I think I've read that already. Okay, good evening, Tiashins. Yes, good evening. All right. TACC is for the world, and I hope many Tibetians and others will be quick to realize that TACC is the only crypto standing structurally. Have mercy. Well, you know, we have all legal standing. This is legalized in the Caribbean, incorporated in the Caribbean. We also legalized in Africa, incorporated in Africa. So we have our legal footing. And those who want to license TACC when we go on the exchange, you know, to be in your country, I have all the papers. All right. So I just want to thank everyone again for being here. Next week, please invite everybody to this forum. This is where you will get, you know, information on TACC, your question asks. Please bring your prospect to all our forums so they can get first-hand information. It was a pleasure having you. This is Mr. Abundance saying to all of us, life is a fight for territory. If we fail to fight for what we want, what we do not want will take over. Life is a fight for territory. If we fail to fight for what we want, what we do not want will take over. Good evening.